Hi everyone, I'm Bill Su, Professor of Computer Science. I'd like to welcome new transfer students to Computer Science at San Francisco State. Please take a look at our website, cs.sfsu.edu. A lot of the information you'll need will be on the website. People in the department that you'll most likely be working with are these. Professor Anna Puda is our fearless leader, our department chair. Our team includes several very helpful staff members in the computer science department office. You'll most likely be working with Denise Miyajima, our office manager, and also Stephanie Kong, who's also helping out with advising day today. And then the main transfer advisors are myself, Bill Su, Professor Jingyi Wang, and Professor Ilmi Yoon, whom you also met a little bit earlier. So here are pictures. Okay. Again, do download the slides. It's probably easier to look at the slides than try to take detailed notes. Our CS department has two main goals. We prepare students for careers in software industry. A lot of our students end up in industry in the area. And also, some of our students go on to graduate study. They get master's or PhD or other advanced degrees, a lot of them related to computer science. So we have about 1,700 undergraduates, about 100 grad students. We have 15 full-time faculty and also a large team of lecturers, a lot of them coming from industry to help teach our students. We emphasize a practical hands-on curriculum. The idea is when you go through our program, we help you build a portfolio of software projects that you can actually use to showcase your skills and your technical facility when you go for interviews. And this is really important to get a job. Students with a good portfolio, the doors will open for them. They will have a lot more opportunities. A lot of times people ask us, where are our graduates now? So obviously, with almost 2,000 students in the department, it's very hard for us to keep track of everybody. But the last time we took a poll a few years ago in 2017, we checked where our master's graduates ended up. And these are the companies they were at. And you see that these are major companies in San Francisco and in the Valley. And also our alumni can be found at Apple, Sony, and other companies, and also major government research labs, and a lot of small startups. So our graduates are highly successful, and a lot of them stay in the area. So we have a number of new projects that have funding support, and I'll just mention the PINK project. This is promoting inclusivity in computing, and Professor Yoon heads this project. The URL for the project is pink, PINCSFSU.com. Professor Yoon and Professor Kokani and Professor Pennings just received some major funding from Genentech Foundation and Genentech Incorporation. It's over $1 million to support PINK students and mentors, and a lot of the mentors are actually computer science students, and they're also developing biotech-related curricula for a PINK project. So we understand that San Francisco Bay Area is an expensive place to live in. So we try to support our students with scholarships. Our major scholarship is the Abigail Fishbach Scholarship. This is $6,000 per year for 2 computer science or computer engineering majors who are active in supporting women in computing. Another major scholarship that our students have access to is the ARC Scholarship. This is $10,000 per year. This is for CS majors who are US citizens who are interested in research and PhD careers. There are also several other scholarships that you will have access to once you become a full-time student here. A lot of our students are very active in our student clubs. So that's quite a few of them, but our main student club is our student chapter of the ACM, the Association for Computing Machinery, which is the main professional organization for software engineers. So again, this is our main CS student club, and the club is very active in a number of activities. ranging from interview coding workshops to social events and parties, and also career events. So one of the events that we run is the alumni career panel. Okay? So this is a picture from the last one we had, which was in fall of 2019. We weren't able to have another one in spring 2020 for obvious reasons, but we plan to have more of these. There will probably be a virtual one in fall 2020. A lot of our alumni come back from industry to chat with our students on how to look for a job, how to prepare for interviews, how to strategize and build their careers. We have a lot of enthusiastic and helpful alumni who want to help our current students in these stressful times in the job search and professional activities. So we'll have another career panel in the fall. So the best way to get in touch with the ACM Club is our Slack channel. Okay, so here's the URL, okay, and the Slack channel is very active, okay, especially once classes start. And if we have time, I'll pull it up later. Keep moving along here. So one of a major event that our students are involved in and organizing is SF Hacks. This is the largest collegiate hackathon in San Francisco. It's usually in March. Again, we weren't able to have one in 2020, in March 2020 because of COVID. There are plans to continue having these in the future. So here are some pictures from the last edition in 2019. And for more info, check the URL. Okay, so now we're ready to start chatting a little bit about the BS program in computer science. And actually, let me take a quick look at the chat because it looks like we have a few posts here. So, okay, so mostly the informational links. Okay. So if you have questions, please post to the chat and I will see that and respond. Most of us are joining in fall to be in the BS, the Bachelor of Science in Computer Science program. And so we'll take a look at the bulletin in a second, okay? But the requirements are the 71 units of core requirements. So this is 22 units of math and physics, 25 units of core computer science requirements, 12 units of advanced computer science requirements, and 12 units of senior electives in computer science. Okay, let's take a look at the website. This is probably a good time for that. Okay, so this is the SFSU bulletin, and we'll navigate down to computer science. Okay, so these are the bulletin pages for the computer science program. So we'll click on undergraduate, and then Bachelor of Science in Computer Science, and then let's start with degree requirements. So this lists the 71 units you will need to complete before you can get your BS degree. So 20 units of math and physics, so 8 units of calculus, and then 6 units of upper division math classes, and then 8 units of physics classes. And then the core computer science requirements, 25 units. Intro to programming in Java with lab, this is 4 units. Data structures in Java, discrete math, machine structures, and then the upper division units are ethics. This is 300 is an ethics and writing class. 317 is our intro to web development class. 340 is programming methodology. It's our advanced data structures class in C++. And finally, 413 is our big object-oriented programming and design class. Okay, this is called software development. Then there are advanced CS classes and also electives. We can take a look at the roadmap. Okay, so there are actually several roadmaps. And most of us are transfer students, so let's take a look at the transfer student roadmap. So when we look at the transfer student roadmap, the idea is, we assume that before you start on the actual roadmap, you've actually completed all the lower division units from community colleges. So you see, we start with 300 level classes, okay? And we organize them roughly into 4 semesters. If you have completed all your lower division community college units, then you'll be able to complete the program in 4 semesters. We understand that everyone has a slightly different path to get here, and that's what the one-on-one advising sessions are for. We'll actually take a look at the classes you've taken at community college or elsewhere, and we'll try to figure out quickly what you need to do next. In addition to the roadmap, we made a course prerequisite chart. It's really the same information that's on the roadmap and on the degree requirements, except it's arranged in a chart that shows what courses depend on what other courses. So for example, a lot of you will be taking CSE 340, and the prerequisites for these are 230 discrete math and also data structures 220. So you need to complete both 220 and 230 before you start 340. So some notes for, especially for transfer students. So I mentioned lower division versus upper division. If you don't remember the terminology we use here, lower division is 0 to 299. These are the course numbers. Upper division course numbers are 300 and above. Most students coming in from community colleges have taken most of the lower division units. So I've drawn a red line in the prerequisite flowchart showing the division between the boundary between the lower division units to the left and the upper division units to the right. This is a list of what most CS transfer students have finished. Calculus 1, Calculus 2, this is 8 units. Physics 1, Physics 2, also 8 units altogether. Intro to Programming in Java, 4 units. Data Structures in Java, 3 units. Discrete Math, 3 units. And Machine Structures, 3 units. So if you're coming from a California community college, the website to check is assist.org. How many of you have used assist.org before? Can we see, a few of you? Could you please post to chat so I get an idea? The little red number is going up very fast. That's great. 7 new messages already. Let me check. Excellent. Okay. Thank you. All right. So assist is, let me check the time here. We probably have time to, we probably have 1 minute to visit assist. Okay. So if we just go to assist.org. So here's assist.org, and the interface is fairly intuitive. Okay? So we choose an academic year. Information for the latest academic year is usually not the most complete. So we'll pick an academic year that's a little bit older. And let's say a lot of our students come from City College of San Francisco. We're good friends with a lot of the instructors and the current and past department chairs, Jonathan Potter and Craig Persico. They're really great people, and they run a great program. So, and let's take a look at the agreements, and then we go to computer science. So we click on View Agreement, and we see, once my network delivers the goods. Okay. So we see the computer science classes at San Francisco State, and then the computer science classes at City College that correspond to those classes. Okay? So if you took 111B, okay, Intro to Java at City College, that corresponds to 210, and so on. And actually, this is a slightly older agreement. 111, if you took 111B at City College, you get both credit for 210 and 211. You get at all 4 units, and so on. Again, we'll take a look at how things are, when we do the one-on-one sessions. So what's our plan for fall 2020? And a lot of you have already taken care of all of this, okay, which is great. So the first thing is, have your current school, meaning actually your previous school, sorry, send the transcripts to San Francisco State. And once the transcripts get processed, you pull up your SFSU gateway, and you should see in your transfer credit report matchups between your previous school's classes and classes at San Francisco State. Then check off the classes that are done. We'll take a look at what to take next. Now, we totally understand that assist and also the transfer credit report may not have complete information. Okay, so we do our best to match up your classes automatically, but there are community colleges that we don't work with so regularly. You may come from out of state or even out of the country, and don't worry. We'll take a look at your classes and we'll try to match them up with classes at San Francisco State. Okay. So let's say you're coming in, from a community college, maybe in California or maybe Oregon or Washington. We have a lot of students from the West Coast. If let's say all your lower division classes are done. Yeah. So what's next? So usually the classes in the major that we would suggest taking are these. So 3 computer science classes, 340, 300, and 317, and your upper division math classes, 324 and 325. So notice I have 340 in red here. 340 will be in red for quite a bit for the next few slides. This is because once you're ready for 340, it's really a good idea to take 340 as soon as possible. If you take 340 soon, this will help open up your choices for later semesters. So, some useful principles when designing a schedule. A full-time course load is about 12 to 18 units. This corresponds to 40 hours per week of work. If you're working a job, part-time or full-time, you should scale back. Again, we totally understand that this is an expensive place to live in, and a lot of our students, have part-time jobs to help pay the bills. So let's say we have a 10-hour per week job, and so which means that we have 30 hours left for classes. So this is about a 75% load. So this means that we have to scale down from 12 to 18 units to about 9 to 14 units of classes. So the third principle I mentioned is, please keep in mind that major classes will take more of our time and effort. So choose a mix of major classes and general education classes. The general education classes are usually a bit lighter, and so they help make your schedule less demanding. So don't take all major classes. And kind of a footnote on that is, it's a bad idea to take all your GEs, all your general education classes right away. I know sometimes advisors you talk with, at community colleges especially, will tell you, will really, encourage you to take all your GEs right away. Don't do that. You need the GEs to space out your schedule so you're not stuck with semesters where you have demanding major classes only. Okay, I see a couple notes in the chat. Let me just take a quick look at that because we're getting close to. All right. Okay, so let's go through a little example here. I don't know if we have time to work through. We should. So let's say Monique Obama is a new CS transfer student here, okay, from City College. And let's say Monique has completed these requirements. She has 111B, which is the Intro to Java class at SFSU, 111C, which is data structures at SFSU, discrete math, and then Calculus 1, Calculus 2, and Physics 1. So what I would do next is go to the flowchart and cross off the classes that are completed. So once we cross off the classes, we see, we see what's left, right? What's coming up next that we can take that don't have classes that don't have prerequisites that are not satisfied. So I cross off all the classes, and then I take a look at possibilities. So what are the possible classes I could take? So there's physics 2, right? The only prerequisite for physics 2 is physics 1, which we're done with. And there's probability and statistics at 324. We have all the prereqs already. Similarly, 317, 340, at 256. And also I have in square brackets 413. I'll explain why in a second. So again, these are the classes Monique is able to take when she starts at SFSU. And again, I have 340 in red because, like I said, please, get 340 out of the way. Okay, your lives will be much happier, when you get 340 done with. Now, 413 is another very heavy-duty programming class. Okay, this is in Java. This is our main object-oriented programming class in Java. Make sure you're ready for this class before taking it because it's very demanding. Make sure your Java chops are up. Suppose Monique works 10 hours a week. So in the earlier slide, she should take 9 to 14 units. So this is the list of classes that are possible. We choose some classes. Take 340. I sound like a broken record. Take 340. So we circle 340. And let's say we take another CS class that we need machine structures. And let's say we pick Math 324. And so that's 9 units. 3 units each, that's 9 units. So we can take, and we could just stop here and say, okay, my job is actually very stressful. I have family commitments. I can just stop here and that's 9 units. But if I want to take a little bit more, I can say, okay, I'll take one GE class, 3 units, that gives me 12 units. If I'm really ambitious, I say, okay, maybe I can take 2 GE classes. This is really pushing it. 15 units, and you're working 10 hours a week. So this gives us an idea of the reasoning we go through to build a class schedule. And so usually at this time, I ask the new students to come up with some other combinations that will work. But we're getting really close to 3:30. So and there's quite a few of us here, so I don't want to spend time on that. But let's pick another.
We do have one question now.
Sorry?
Bill, we do have one student who has a hand raised for a question.
Okay. So is that in the chat or?
No, it's in the participants. Shajang Guru has his hand raised.
Okay, do you want to put the question in the chat? Then it's it's a little easier for us to manage. Yeah, please put questions in the chat. Yeah, so another possibility, another combo that might be okay is, so I keep saying take 340. We can take 340, we can take 317, and maybe Math 325. That would be 9 units as well. That works pretty well. So here are some websites and other resources that might be useful. And I would strongly suggest becoming familiar with a lot of these resources. So ASSIST we talked about already, the UEAP site. This is transfer agreements for schools that are not in California, okay, not under ASSIST. Now there are a lot more schools listed here, but the articulation agreements are much less complete. We take a look, it might be helpful, but again, we're happy to work with you one-on-one to figure out what are the classes you've taken that are equivalent to classes at SFSU. Okay? And in general, talk to your advisors, okay? Email advisors, meet with them regularly. The CS advisors, here's the listing for the CS advisors. Our computer science department is in the College of Science and Engineering. The College of Science and Engineering has a Student Success Center, and they are much better at GEs than us CS advisors. So please talk with Jasmine, who's here, and the college advisors for GEs. A small footnote to keep in mind. Us transfer advisors, we're happy to help, but mainly the specific thing we help with is looking at the classes that you've taken elsewhere and trying to match these up with classes at SFSU. We can also help you build your class schedule and all that, but other advisors, general academic advisors in computer science can also help you do that. So if the transfer advisors are busy, it's perfectly fine to talk with other general advisors unless you need help matching up your transfer classes. Okay, I think that's it. I don't see the question in chat. So I guess, oh, here's a question. Okay, this is a very specific thing. I don't remember the course number and we'll have to look this up. Saying more, if you, please sign up for one of the one-on-ones and we'll take a look at your records. Yeah. Okay, it's 3:30, right? Okay, so I guess we'll head over to the breakout rooms.